Hello everyone, my name is Jean, and today I'm gonna be teaching you how to draw different head angles in anime and manga. Yeah, so I'll try to cover as much head angles as possible that you're struggling with so that you can use it as a reference and know how it actually works. So I hope you're doing fine today, and all you need we're gonna be starting with is paper. Of course, anything should be fine. There's no need to have very advanced gears and so on. So anything you can draw, like here, you can draw anything, this random thing here. Okay, so we also need a pencil. If you're confident enough, pencil is just fine. Or you can just have an eraser, which I don't have at the moment. I couldn't find it. So let's get started. We're gonna be trying to draw a front face angle. I don't know how is it called, but the thing you look forward to. So I'm gonna say. So to do that, we're gonna be drawing a circle. This is to indicate how big the skull you want to get it be. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, just random skull, or you can just handicap yourself like this. It's fine. Just draw a circle. Anything's fine. As you can see here, this is the skull. Hold on, I'm trying to get my camera to concentrate. Yeah, as you can see here, anything's fine. So the next thing we're gonna do is draw a line here in the middle. This line is to indicate the chin size. Alright? The chin you want to have a long face or short. If you're aiming for much cuter, then I suggest drawing it shorter. If it's longer, then it has to be somewhere here. I don't think that's gonna be possible, but yeah. Okay, so now we got the chin done. Let's think about how we're gonna adding the, how can I say, the meat over here, the chin. For my style, I sometimes would accidentally draw it into sharp, but sometimes I like to draw it round. So what I mean is that this is the chin. From here you can just choose you want to be sharpen it or just want to round it. If you're not the anime slop fan, you might like it being rounder. So anything's fine. Now you get the whole image. This is the line for the chin, the size of it. Then you just add the whatever, I don't know how to say called. Okay, so now you know how to draw the front face. We're gonna be trying to draw this line here. If I'm not mistaken, this line here is to indicate the position of our eyes. Okay, this is the line. As you can see here, I'm drawing here. The line you're supposed to draw the eyes here. This is the line we're drawing. Then we're gonna be drawing another line here to indicate the other lower eyelid. Don't know what's it called, but yeah. So as you can see here, I'm gonna be applying to it here, just like so. And then because it's already applied, here will be our eyes. We can add ears here. This will be our ears. Normally this is fine already, but if you're more stylic, which I don't really apply, but I do see some video tutorials when I'm starting out, they like to add another wrinkle here to make it look like an actual ear. I'm not really fancy about it, so this should be fine, but for this case, it's fine. I'll just add here for your information. Then this part is kind of important for any beginners. Even I still use it because it's more clearer image. By the way, this tutorial is for beginners, so even if you're a new person here, you can get your hands on it already. So what I want to do is draw an eye here, just like Ultraman, or the cars. Your eyes are all very white here, blank. Yeah, this will be to indicate the eyes. Just to mention, when you're drawing, try to not draw it very hard. This is what it looks like when it's hard. This is what I'm drawing in my strength right now. Yeah. So, if you're keeping up so far, I hope this is not too boring. And the next thing we'll be drawing is the nose. The nose, we're going to be drawing it around here. Because, as you can see here, this is the eyes, right? So you should be drawing the nose in between here. So this is the fix. You can draw it as a line down here. If you draw a line down here, it will indicate this is the nose, right? When you draw a line down here, it means that you're only showing in the scenery is here. So some people like to draw the nose like this. Or they should add another one long until here if they want a longer realistic nose. Or just add the nose holes, it's also fine. So you get what I mean? This is the nose. I don't know why, it sounded a bit hilarious, but okay. So the next thing is the mouth. This one is a bit tricky because you don't know where you should put, but by common sense, you might have an idea where it's gonna land it to. Some people like to put it closer to the nose, which I do. Some like to have it lower, but it looks a bit sinister. So let me give you an idea of it. So let's say this is the chin here, and then the ears. If you draw the mouth lower, it looks like this. If you draw the mouth around between here, it looks like this. This is the nose and eyes. Get what I mean? And then if you draw a lower here, if you draw it here, it should have the mouth here as well, so it wouldn't look weird. So it really depends on a personal preference, but for this case, I'm just gonna draw it here. Oh, while doing this, I suddenly remember something else. For those that are struggling to draw this chin here, this here, and here, there's another way to draw it if you're still struggling it. So what we can do here is we can use the Loomis method. I don't really know how to do it. I'm not really good at it. I actually did it once, but if I'm not mistaken, it's like this. You straight up draw a line here. Okay, let me just explain again. These are the skull, the chin. Then you need to put a mark here. Then you just draw a line here all the way straight down. Doesn't matter. It looks weird. I know. There. Now you put one line down here and then straight up connecting this the other side. So it looks like this. Let me just do it again. Circle, the chin size. Then you put the mark here. Then you draw a circle here. I mean, not circle, a line. There. Now you just have to draw two lines here, and then you connect it here. Then you can just simplify it as a circle. Then there you have it. You have a chin. But normally I'm not really familiar with it, but this is one of those ways you can do it. This helps a little bit if you're struggling, but if you're trying to look forward to a simpler method, just draw it like this. Okay, now we're gonna draw the neck. The neck usually lands on between the eyes middle. Some like to draw fatter. I mean, not fatter, but bigger. If you watch Dragon Ball or any muscle series, they like to draw their chins all the way to here, somewhere here, and then like here, the neck. But I like to draw it more smaller. It looks cooler. I'm not saying that drawing like this is ugly. It's just that it shows a bit muscular choice, the buff body. If you're drawing some high school boy, I'm sure you wouldn't want to draw something like that. So if you're drawing some high school protagonist, this should be fine, according to the eyes. There we go. Then if you're looking for realistic purpose, you can try to draw the veins, I think, here. Depends if you want to have it long or short. You can feel like it's your artistic choice. Cool, now we just finished our head. The head is already complete, so now we're gonna move on to finishing up. So to finishing up, now you can finally use this pressure here to apply it. So to do this, one thing I forgot to teach you is that I'm gonna switch back to this one, and then we're gonna apply the hair. So for the hair, you can just kind of guideline where you want the hair to be. And then if you're aiming for like spiky hair, quills, maybe you can indicate a bit like this. Good, now you have your indicator, you may be able to draw right now. For me, I like to start with the hair first. Yeah, something like that. And then you follow it all the way down based on your guideline. Just like so. Yeah, it's pretty simple. For the front, you can try to indicate it as well. Doesn't have to be rocket science, but it's pretty straightforward. Oops. Yeah. So now we're gonna be applying the chin. The next thing I want to apply is the chin. You don't have to do it so fast, but if you get the hang of it many times, you may be able to do it fast. For now, you can try to draw it slow if you want, so you can manage the stability as slow as possible if you want, so that you can stabilize it. I heard from one of the videos that, if I'm not mistaken, is PewDiePie. One of the things he said is that if you try to draw on smaller things, it's easier to stabilize it, but if you're drawing it bigger, it's hard to stabilize it. So if you're not confident enough, maybe you can try drawing it smaller, but not smaller to the point you can't see the details. I think A5 size is enough to cover it. So yeah, now you have the chin. Now we're just gonna add the ears. And for the ear details, it depends on personal preference. There's a way of doing it. One people like to draw is the 6. No, not the meme. I don't want to try to bring it here. And then you put an anvil here. This is one of the ways, but for me, I like to draw it like this. So you can put whatever you want to, or you can just do some reference, see how they actually draw. I'm just gonna go with this one. There. Now we apply the nose. Some people prefer their lips to have it like this. But for me, I just prefer like this. I used to draw it like that, but after seeing that one meme, I think it's best to make it more like this. It makes sense. So you can draw it if you want it like this, it's fine. So I'm just gonna draw it here. Smaller compared to the previous, because I kind of changed my mind. Then you add the eyes. So the eyes, the hair is already covered, so it's a bit hard to see. I'm gonna try to show it to you how it's gonna do it. So the eyes, it looks like this, right? So we're gonna only apply it to here. You can draw as many times as you want to make it look like the eyelashes. And you draw it below here. For me, I also like to draw it like this. Then I also like to draw it upper here to look the chin like he's smiling. Okay, I hope you understand it. This is the eyes, upper, lower, and then we put the iris. It depends if you want to draw it big, if you're drawing anime girls or the modern anime style. Some shonen like to have it like a dot, like here. So yeah, so we're gonna do with the eye details here. And depend on what type of eye you like, you can put it glowing. When I was starting out, I put it like this. So this is the most standard possible. So now we apply it to here. I apologize if the video takes a bit long, so I'm gonna try to quick up as possible. Yeah, hopefully it's not hard to keep up. Some people like to draw it over the hair, but for my logic, if the hair covers the eyes, then you just have to draw based on the guideline. The rest you don't need to. This applies to digital art, by the way, if you're wondering. So if you have the knowledge of it, any kitchen should be able to operate it well. You just need to get used to their tools. But if you have the knowledge, you should be able to cook the same thing. So next is, if the hair isn't covering, what I would have done is here. The hair already covers, so I don't have to draw it. So some people like to draw it like this. The eyelid extra thingy, then the eyebrow. For me, I just like to draw it here, the eyebrow. There's no need to draw the extra thing, but for fashion purpose, I think you will like it. So it looks like this. I'm gonna make use of this one as well, it's already created. You draw something like this, the eyes. So what I'm saying is that this one here should look like this. And then the eyebrows here should look like this. Yeah, for this case, it looks like this at the moment. I don't know why is it so dark here. I accidentally drew it. Now it looks like L from Death Note. The eye bags. Alright, now the last thing we want to touch up is the neck. Oh, I forgot to say is that if you don't know how to draw the neck, just like the eyes from earlier, you draw it from the middle. And then make sure you draw a circle here if you're not confident enough, but you don't have to draw it if you're experienced a bit. So what you're gonna do is draw a C and an inverted C. Oh wait, that's the correct one, and this is the inverted. And you draw something like this. Yeah, it looks clean, just like that. Cool. Now we finally finish our head. It should look like this. Cool. This is the front. So I'm gonna do a few more. As I said from the beginning, I'm gonna cover all the heads. Now it's already 21 minutes or something. So I don't think I should be able to make it. So if I do something like that, that'll take forever. So I'm gonna speed run to show you how it's done. So just like the circle we made earlier, you're looking for a side view, a little bit side, same thing. Don't worry, I won't jump into time lapse. I'm just gonna quickly draw, but you can get the idea. Same thing, circle the skull, chin. And for your information, if you're looking for proportions, then it's best to just measure it like this. The chin should be around here, and then the head is around here. There. Now you have the right size of it. I'm gonna go through like this Loomis method if you want to make it sure. Now the head is already here, right? Now it's a slightly tilt. So you have to understand is that the head here is the equivalent to this one. So the side here should move a little bit here. And should move the other side here. Hopefully it's clear enough. Yeah. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flatten it. So it's like the circle. We're gonna flatten it here. So it should look like this. Like chopped already. There. Same thing. If you're looking for the Loomis method, it should look like this. This one connected all the way here. This one connected all the way to here. And then applying it down here. Things like this. Like the 90 degrees. Don't follow that one. That one's a bit mistake. Then you should be able to smooth it down here. Then for here, no, you're not supposed to do it something like that, but we can do it here. No problem. Put it down here. This side here. Then we should be able to apply. Now it looks a bit hilarious. It looks like a monkey. So based on what we're gonna do is, from here, this ankle, we're gonna try to look at. We're gonna try to bounce it up like this. So in order to know where we can do this is to add the eyes. So one from here and one from the other one here. Okay. So this is where we apply. This one is in between here. Yeah. That's how it's gonna look like. And then the ears from here, his right ears. His right ears, or I can say left ears, is hidden, and the other ears should be here. Same knowledge, just have to apply it. Now we're just gonna draw it here, the eyes. Make sure it's not gonna combine together with the flatten. The flatten is the limit here. So you're just gonna try to draw a circle here. Don't be afraid to add the circles near here. It should be fine, like this, even if it touched. So when it touches the corner, it should look like this. Cool, it's starting to look like a side head. Okay, for this case, when I said the eyes should be together here, I don't know if it's necessarily gonna apply it to the same thing. For this case, I'm gonna try to apply it to the neck here instead. This one maybe only works from front and fully behind, also front from here or here. But from the side, I'm not sure it's gonna apply the same thing. So it looks like this. This is the first one. It will connect to here. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna do is draw the other side of the neck. If you wanna draw this way, I assume it's going to be here. So how did I know it's gonna be here? Normally, for here, it's by the eyes. But if it's for side, one is going to be located somewhere right after the ears in between. The other one is the middle face here, just right before here, or you can just draw from here, also fine. It will be weird, so I like to do a little bit of gap here and draw it right here, there. And then we're just gonna apply the same thing here. Hope that makes sense. But normally the neck can be a lot more smaller if you're drawing a female. Let me just try to show it here. Somewhere like here, and like here. Whatever, it looks a bit weird. Maybe just quick draw to show it to you. So normally you can draw it from between here. Hold on, the camera's not focusing. Like here instead. But what I'm gonna do is draw here and here. It can be shorter. It depends on the person's feelings on where they want to put it. But for this case, if practical, it will be here. Alright. Now the next thing is applying the ears. As usual, I'm not sure with the ears, so I'm just gonna put it here. Somewhere like here, yeah. And then we're gonna apply the eyes. But before we apply, we should apply the hair first. Good. Now we draw the line art. Normally, if you want to draw the heads here, it would have been look like this if it's bald. So after write this curve here, you want to bounce it out like this and then draw it back like this if you're drawing like a bald character. But for this case, it's a hair character, so I don't think there's need to do that. Just like this. For the nose, I want you to imagine that this nose from here, this is how it looks like when it's on the side. This is the front, the nose is like this. So if it's like the other side, let me draw it here. So on the other side, it looks like a triangle attached here. Here's like 3D triangle. Yeah, I want you to imagine it attaches between this line here. So the same thing goes to the later on we're gonna show you. The triangle should look like this. Okay, amazing. So here, the nose should be like this. So that means if we move a little bit, it should look like this. The nose should look like this. So hopefully it's clear for you. The nose should be like a triangle attached to the middle of the circle. So same thing we apply to here. We're gonna add the nose here. Feel free to adjust how big the nose you want. If it's a female, normally it's smaller, but since it's a male, we can put it here. And then we curve here to make it refine it a bit. Okay, cool. Now we add the mouth here. Now it looks a bit cartoony, but after we add some the features, so it should be fine. Now we're gonna add the eyes here. Now this eye is a bit different. It's not like here. We're not gonna draw it like the same thing, same symmetry. I don't know how this is gonna say, but if it's like here, if you're drawing a bigger eyes, normally the triangle, the nose block this the second eye, so it's normal to look at like this. So I want you to picture this. This is the front. So if it's the side, this is already chopped off. So normally it should look like this, and this one should be a lot more smaller. And then if it's a slightly side a bit, it should look like this. It should look like this. So same thing to here. This is a little bit not visible, a bit smaller. This one is a bit wider. So how can we apply this? First of all, I would draw something like this. It moves a bit here, and then it opens up here. And then the iris, we're gonna add it here. Yeah, something like that. And then the details. And here, it's gonna be a bit hidden. Somewhere like a little bit here, and a little bit here. And then the eyes is a lot more smaller because it's on the side. So we're gonna draw the iris a bit smaller like this. Like we shrink them all. There. I hope that makes sense. Now the nose part. The nose part, since we are anime, normally some like to have it more realistic, so they just draw the entire thing like this. So if I'm someone like I want to draw it exactly like this one, so normally this is how the guideline will be. But when you ink it, you're just gonna ink the sharpest part here. Normally we shove it down like this. Some like to shove it up like this. So let's see how it works. There. And then for a mouth, we're just gonna draw it here, right here in between the head. There. Now we're just gonna line art the head overall with the ears. Draw it like this. Yeah, it looks something like this. It would be better if you draw the overall here. You're already done. Okay, this is something I wanted to tell you is that when I first started, I got a bit confused with the overall thing. This thing, we call it, I think you can call it sketching. And then once you've done this all, you start to apply this one, the refinement like that. You add the eyes and everything. This one we call it mapping. Then the last final touch up is when you use a pen. You use a pen and then you start drawing it all. That one we call it, I think, inking, or digital art we call it line art. After that we finish that, then we erase the entire thing, only the ink left. That is how we do the art overall. But since I don't want to erase the entire progress we just made, so I'm just gonna put it here. But by the end of the video, I'm just gonna show how it's done and how it should look like without the base. Okay, cool. Now we're just gonna do one more, and then the rest is up to you, and it'll be like a homework. I'll give you the guidelines, and then you try to figure out based on what we just learned here. Okay, good. So now we're going to do the side head. So just like the head from before, let me just open it up here so it's a lot more easier. Okay, so the head here, remember the thing we kind of flatten the head here? Flatten the head. This part, this thing we flatten here. Now I want you to imagine we finally see the entire side of the flat area. So this is where the flat area looks like. So I'm just going to show it to you. This is the front. This is the side, I think. And then this one is going to move forward to the point it just only shows the side part. Something like that. Hopefully you understand. So the same thing. Now that the entire thing is on the side, we cannot see the front. So basically the camera is like this. This is the camera. It's only showing this side. So this is what we're looking at right now. So this plus thing, I didn't quite elaborate, so let me just do it again. First we draw the circle, right? And then we apply the same thing. The head middle. So this one you can determine where the chin you want to go. How big you want. How long. Make sense? Okay, good. Now we're gonna draw the chin. So normally the chin is like this. You draw here all at one. And then you try to attach it from here. then you raise a little bit like here. Now we're starting to see the image. Okay, good. Same thing just like this one. The neck is in between the ears and then somewhere here. So the ears should be here, and then the neck is slightly behind a bit here. Or you want to make it straight is fine, but I think normally humans like to have it more a little bit slightly down a bit. And then here, try to draw one here. That should be our neck. Now what you're gonna do is curve it. Good. Now we're just gonna add the nose. Remember when I said the triangle here? Yeah. So we're gonna apply it from here. So let me tell you where the nose is gonna locate. Just like this one, we usually put a down line for the chin size, and then we put the head right here for a circle. I mean the line. So notice how this circle and this one clash together. That is going to be our nose located. Not really, not really. Not the nose located, but rather the eyes. So for the nose, I think it will be slightly down here. So what I'm drawing here, this line here, is actually the line for here. So now we know the line is between here. That means there should be one here and one here. Let me just apply it here. One is up here, the other one down is here. That makes sense? Then we decide where the nose is gonna be, how long you want it to be, the nose. So let's say I want it to be a bit front here. That will be the nose. Now for the eyes, remember when I said when it goes a bit side, it will look a little bit smaller here. Yeah. So apparently, the eyes should look like this. This is where we're gonna head to. The point is smaller, and it looks like this. Yeah. From here, move a little bit to move a little bit. So we're gonna do the same thing here. Gonna draw it somewhere like here, this small, because it's already on the side. And then for the nose, just like the triangle, we're gonna apply it from here. Now here's one thing I realized is that sometimes some men or older men, their nose is slightly down a bit. But for anime, we're normally up a bit like this. So here's what it's gonna look like. If it's a man, usually it's gonna be downward the nose, then the chin like this, so on. So if it's an anime girl or boy or younger, your nose is slightly a bit upper here. So this one depends on your preference, but either way we follow this standard, we can always adjust it back. So once you've drawn here, what you're gonna do is this plus here, right? We're gonna connect it slightly down here. So now it deletes all of these. Deletes all of it here. So once you put it slightly here, it should look like this. Now, if we're drawing the younger one, which is what I'm going to do right now, but if you're drawing the older one, just follow this one, should be fine. Just ink it here like this, but we're gonna draw the younger one, so we're gonna adjust it here. There. Now from here, this line here, you're gonna adjust like a kiss mouth. Something like this. I want you to adjust it from here when you ink. Yeah, something like this. So how we're gonna apply it from here. Somewhere when you finally apply the sharp here, you can already apply the two mountains here. Some don't prefer to draw it, so it's up to you. You can just go straight down if you want to, but this is like to indicate the lips. Now it looks like it's trying to open its mouth. So when you finally draw here, you're gonna add the lips in between here. This is the mouth, and we're gonna draw somewhere here, the middle. Yeah. And we're just gonna draw the hair now. I'm gonna draw the hair. I forgot to draw another circle here, so you can add it here and curve like this. Then you draw the neck. For the eyes, we're gonna be drawing it slightly here. Yeah, it should look something like this. And this is the how the side's gonna look like. Alright. So once we finish the side, we're gonna put the eyebrows. So just like here, normally if we put the eyes here, we can put a slightly here and here. This is the eyelids, I don't know, and then this is the eyebrow. So since it's hidden already, so we can slightly draw a little bit here. And then it's supposed to be having an eyebrow here. But if you want to show it, it's fine. Just like this one and this one. There we go. And there we have it. We do the side, and then we also do the part for here. Front, side, and profile. Should I say semi-side and profile? Either way, these are the three main angles. The next thing we're gonna cover for the next video is how to draw upper head and lower head. Then after that, we're gonna learn how to do behind the heads. I realize nobody covers much about behind, they only cover the front. So I'm gonna cover that on the third episode or second. I wanted to cover all of them in this entire video, but I realized it's too long. As you can see, it's already almost 40 minutes or something, almost an hour, and I don't want to drag you too long. So you can take a break and then we'll do it the next episode. So your next homework, the homework you're gonna do for today is, since we have already done to the right, try to do it if you can do for the left. It's the same, it's just inverted. Alright, if you enjoyed this so far and wanted to thank me, what you can do is promise me to become a unique person and produce something out of your life. That is a thank you to me. And if you can do something productive out of it and be a professional, not knowing to be professional, but if you can draw in the end of the day, then I'm very proud of you. And if you want to join along and then keep on to what I want to do, like to see what my next video is, you can subscribe. But I don't really intend to like market my channel to like need many subscribers or likes. So only subscribe and like if you really want to. But other than that, all you can do now is to be a good artist and move forward. Alright, I think I don't want to drag you too long, so that is all for today. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.